say when it all comes crashing down. Girl, you're gonna love me. What you gonna do when all your love hits the ground? You're gonna love me.
Forget the BS, what's up, mama? Forget about checks, we bout to talk to you like a soap opera. It's mine, I have to come proper. If you don't mind, I can't ease your whole conscience. You don't have to talk, you can stand there in silence. Jack spirit to your heart, it kills to be a pirate. Let Seal take his course, we getting off this island. Make sure your resistance away from drama. I love you till my time's up, even in the afterlife, we gon' have to get it right. Let's see, cause the sky's ready for us. You an angel in my eyes, is no surprise. Even though it might be ladders that we have to climb, but I'll be behind you, push you upwards every time. King and Queen's only way we coincide. What if the ship sink? We go together. Let's not play scribe. Love is only 4 letters.
What's up, everybody? This is Queen Z. This is Mentally There For You podcast, and I am here with my co-host, Shy Lacey. And we are going to kick this episode off because it is Mental Health Awareness Month, and we do want to make sure that we cover some things that goes on mentally with everybody.
If you knew what we just did, y'all be like,
all right. So we're not even gonna go through that right now. Today's topic is battles of depression, and what we are gonna do, because again, like I said, it is Mental Health Awareness Month. We're gonna talk about depression, which is one of a couple of other things that we'll be talking about into the end of this month, dealing with mental health awareness. And why wouldn't Mentally There For You podcast cover that? And it's called Mentally There For You. So duh. But anyway, Shy, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start off and talk about depression, and then we're gonna go from there.
So today we are gonna talk about how some people cope with depression. What are some of the flaws of being depressed? Things that we want to change, and the end results of trying to fix what we're trying to do is like fix our lives, at least trying to like mend it a little bit, because depression is very real. Depression is very, very real, and a lot of people don't even understand that they're depressed. Some people are just thinking it's just a bad time in their lives, and the whole time they're depressed. And some people are so scared to get help when help is probably what you need. And we're not talking about meds. I mean, if you smoke, you do what you do, but we're talking about actually coping with depression in a way where you can be a better you.
Okay. So I pulled up a couple of things I wanted to discuss. Some of the depressions that is notarized. First, it says depression, a group of conditions associated with elevation or lowering of a person's mood, such as depression or bipolar disorder. The most common types of depression is clinical depression, a mental health disorder characterized by persistently depressed moods or loss of interest in activities, causing significant impairments in daily life. Persistent depressive disorder, a mild but long-term form of depression. Bipolar disorder, a disorder associated with episodes of mood swings ranging from depressive lows to manic highs. Bipolar 2 disorder, a disorder associated with, a type of bipolar disorder characterized by depressive or hypomanic episodes. Postpartum depression, depression that occurs after childbirth. Some of the signs of depression, major depressive disorders. Some of the symptoms that it can consist of is low mood, low self-esteem, loss of interest in normal enjoyable activities, low energy, pain without a clear cause. So one of the depressions that I do want to talk about, like I said, overall, because I'm a mother, you're a mother, so we either dealt with it or we know somebody that have dealt with it. And that is postpartum depression. So you want to start?
Yeah, and a lot of people think postpartum depression I hate when they put it like it's a time limit. Like a woman has a baby, and it's probably like a year or two that we in the post. No, postpartum depression can go for years. You can be depressed. I went through postpartum depression with my son. One of the things that a lot of women don't, I wouldn't say a lot of women, but women don't, some women don't like to admit. I had postpartum depression so bad after I had my son, in 2016, that I couldn't even attach. I had attachment problems, like
attachment issues.
Yeah, like it's like he was fed, he was clothed, everything else was fine. Like I was being a mother, but like that attachment, it took me like almost 2 years to do that. Like it was really a struggle, and then like I don't know, it just then I get depressed because of the time I missed that first 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you also start feeling like that too.
Okay, so the things to know about post traumatic stress disorder. I mean, yeah, postpartum depression. Lord have mercy.
Mhm.
Postpartum depression, the feelings. What does postpartum depression feel like? Persistent feeling of sadness and low mood, lack of enjoyment and loss of interest in the wider world, lack of energy and feeling tired all the time, trouble sleeping at night and feeling sleepy during the day, finding it difficult to look after yourself and your baby. That's just 5 terms of what postpartum depression looks like and what it could feel like. The duration that medically they are saying to last up to 12 months. It says because PPD can appear anywhere from a couple of weeks to 12 months after birth. There's no average length of time it lasts. A 2014 review of studies suggests that PPD symptoms improve over time, with many cases of depression resolving within 3 to 6 months after they begin. The effects. Postpartum depression, also called PPD, is a medical condition that many women get after having a baby. A strong feeling of sadness, anxiety, worry, and tiredness that lasts for a long time after giving birth. These feelings can make it hard for you to take care of yourself and your baby. So, like she said, she felt the detachment. That is because of the postpartum depression. And yes, even outside of that, it was more so like they said, it could have been the 12 months you was going through that. But then the rest, like you said, it took you 2 more years basically to get over the depression that you missed out that time with being attached to your child. I'm gonna tell you something. At least you became aware because there's a lot of people that don't become aware, and they will carry out. That's what I said. Acknowledging your own depression and where you gotta fix it. And y'all, if y'all meet her son, he's the sweetest thing. He's the sweetest thing. He's a little man, I call him. And they said the stages of postpartum depression is denial, anger, badgering, depression, and acceptance. So, of course, after some time, we will say, "Oh, ain't nothing wrong with me." That's every woman's worst fear for a doctor to say, "Oh, I think you're going through postpartum depression." Now, motherfucker, I'm crying about the postpartum depression. You're saying I'm depressed. I'm not fucking depressed. I'm just a mom and I'm going through everything. That's just what it be like. And it's funny because somebody be like, "Oh, you need a break." I don't fucking need a break. I just need somebody to listen to me. Like, I've been there. Like, and like you said, with me, I had kids multiple times. I was busy. Alright, so I didn't get.
She said the old school, but she just said the old school version. She said I was busy.
I was busy. And when you're a busy woman and you don't give your body and your mental health and your body enough time for the hormones to go back down, and you just think you about to bust it wide back open and then you gonna have another baby, like, nah, sis, take it from me. Breathe. Breathe. Give yourself enough time because I went through postpartum depression. Okay, it went like this. I got pregnant with my oldest, had my oldest. In the mix of me having my oldest, I was already pregnant with my second one about time she was about to be 2. So my body still was not fully adjusted to just having a newborn. That was my first child, firstborn, first everything. Then I got pregnant with my second daughter, and then I still didn't give myself enough time because I got pregnant again 4 months later. After having her, she was only 4 months old. I found out I was pregnant with twins. I lost the twins, got pregnant with Jason. So it was like I never gave myself the opportunity. So when after some time of not acknowledging the post traumatic stress disorder, post traumatic stress disorder, it turned into me getting PTSD, not PTSD because I was going through other things, but it caused my depression to how could I say? It lapsed. So they said I had depression psychosis, meaning that I was in a stuck state. Like everything, the littlest shit was making me like, oh my God, the world is over. Mm-hmm. Why am I here? Like, this is not my life. I was really tripping. Like, and it just got, girl, bye.
You even start questioning your motherhood.
I really did.
You'd be like, am I a mom? Like, should I even be a mom?
With my first daughter, I'm going to say, and I know how you felt, because I feel like that now, because now my daughter and me, we have a bond, but it's like, I felt guilty because for the first year, because I didn't know what to do and she was always crying and stuff. I was staying with my mom at the time, and her father was no fucking help. The motherfucker sleeping just as much as was get the baby. Get the baby. Like, damn, I got staples in my gut, all types of shit going on. Like, so it was like my mom, she was helping me, but at the same time, my daughter was getting that motherly love from her grandmother and not me at that time. So I felt guilty as fuck. Because growing up, she used to always cry for my mother. Mm-hmm. So it started making me feel like I was neglecting my child. And even right now, her and my mom got a real tight bond. And it's just like, yeah.
You kind of know why it is.
Yeah, I understand it now. Mm-hmm. But back then, I didn't want to understand it because at the time, I wasn't having the adequate help. So I did become more depressed after that. And I wanted to prove myself even more and be a good mom. Oh, now you ain't doing this to my second one. So I'm gonna tell y'all the truth. Because of my depression, second kid, she suffers from it. My oldest don't suffer from it because she had other people at that time to take care of her. That's why I say it's very important for mothers to take care of themselves while nurturing children. Because yes, I'm a mother that is going to sit here and tell y'all no lie. I do take partial fault for my daughter anxiety and depression and stuff because what she actually witnessed me do. She was a kid that when I was going through my depression stage and I used to run charting out the house. Now she suffers with PTSD and they consider her fight and flight brain. They don't consider her just a post-traumatic stress disorder nigga. She gonna beat your ass and then she gonna run. And then she gonna be scared because she just did something she knows she fucked up. You get what I'm saying? So she used to chase me outside when I was going through my depression. My only escape was to leave out my house because it felt like everything was just pressuring me in. But yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder is a no gamer. And
you know that when you were like my husband, the only thing I could say is he was very supportive to it.
Yeah.
I swear to you, some days I'll just sit there and start crying. I'll be like, J1, I'll be like, I'm not a good mom. I don't need to be a mom. It's not me. And he'd be like, yes, you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are. And he helped, like, the times that I didn't want to change the baby. He was right there.
That plays a big part.
Yeah.
And it takes a lot off of the mom because not only that, y'all got to realize we got to get ourselves back in order. Yes, a mom is supposed to nurture the kid. I do believe in that. I'm big on that. I do believe that the mom is the first, nurturer when it comes down to the kid. And when the kid get older, that's when the father like really start. Because the men is outside in the world while the mothers be in the house most of the time. You get what I'm saying? So I get why babies is with the moms for the first year of birth. But I also say it do play a big part when the mom got support. So if you do know a mother that is just birthed a baby, be her support system. No matter what. Sometimes, even if you just grab that baby for like 10, 15 minutes for her to get a breath of fresh air, just go outside and say, woo! Because I'm going to tell you, listen, newborn babies ain't no game. They rule shit. They rule everything about you. You can't take a shower. You can't eat. You can't take a shit without, as soon as you put the motherfuckers down, like, wait, whoa. You're allowed to take a shit and I got to change you, but I'm not allowed to go sit down comfortably and take a peaceful shit. But you taking it that, but you what the fuck, you smelling me? So yes, that's post-traumatic stress disorder. Is very, if you need any information, we will definitely send some out on the page. If she come across some or I come across some, if you need advice about it, if you are going through post-traumatic stress disorder, you need somebody to talk to, you're more than welcome to contact us. Postpartum depression. Sorry, postpartum. Y'all gotta chill edit all that out anyway. Yo. But if you are going through postpartum, please, if you don't want to go to somebody else and you think somebody else gonna think you just bugging the fuck out, you can call her, you can call me, you can inbox the Mentally There For You page, or you can inbox one of us personally on our personal page. And we are more than welcome to talk to you, give you a little bit of advice, give you some encouragement, and actually help you to gain direction. One thing I am going to say, if you are with a newborn baby and the baby don't stop crying, the doctor even tell you, give yourself 5 minutes. The baby will be okay. Just as long as you secure the baby in the bed in a proper position, because it's you just have to regain your thoughts outside of the crying. And sometimes the crying could overwhelm the fuck out of you because it's like, I can't think. I'm trying to calm down my anxiety up. Like it's an imbalancement. But if there's somebody that can help you, allow them to help. Don't shut nobody out.
I also want to talk about a couple of things that you got people can do to cope with depression. Um, Depression could be like one of the points Cola made is you don't want to do things that you normally do, right? Um, so what you need to do is at least like keep a routine down. You know, I'm even working on that, but just keep a routine down so you know not to slack. Because if you start to slack, you start to get more depressed. If
Absolutely.
if you sit in it and you don't want to like sit in the depression, you want to get up out of the depression. So one of the things that you can do is have a routine, a daily routine, something you do daily, so you know what you're looking forward to.
Absolutely. So
And now wait,
we about to go into
men in depression because
men in depression. We need to talk about this.
yes,
And I'm the reason why I say I want to talk about this because a lot of men will walk around and say that they're not goddamn depressed, knowing damn well they depressed. They say they not, but we're gonna express some of the symptoms of men with depression
signs.
and stuff and signs. And I do encourage, if you are a man and you feel like you can relate with some of these things, try to go to therapy, get a little bit of help, or even if y'all need to contact us, we're more than welcome because I do counsel men as well, and I'm pretty sure she's open to giving advice because we understand. And a lot of y'all ain't gonna accept my truth. You want to counsel with me? I'm gonna dig your ass deep. You gonna understand why it's called self love, why it's called self reflection, why it's called what they call that word. Come on, when you do something wrong.
Oh, consequence. What?
No,
Karma?
no. Well, they gonna understand that too, but accountability.
Accountability.
See, that's how bad the enemy don't want me to say that. But we're here to check that. So we're not gonna go all into that today, but we are gonna touch that topic as well. On one of these segments that we got coming up when it's men and women, we're gonna be discussing some things. And even her husband is gonna be up here, so I cannot wait. This is gonna be interesting. Um, but we definitely need to talk about men with depression right now because some of y'all men, you baby.
Hide it very well.
Y'all hide it very well, and y'all will not go get the goddamn help, baby. Mm-hmm. But
all that flaunting and doing all of that on social media.
But not only that, we even gonna do this because I do want some women that is women to understand when your man is depressed and when he's just being a fucking dickhead. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So there is some variations of things, and if your man is being quote unquote he saying he's depressed and you working on it with him to try to help him to cope with his depression and he still do idiotic shit, since it's time to let that nigga go. Shoot him dead, let him go. Gotta go. Gotta go. Gots to go. Because you don't want to be the one that's taking on that man's hurt and that man's responsibility and accountability of himself to fix his own problems. Because just like we are responsible for our depression, we don't want to leech it onto our kids or our spouse. It's the same thing. They have the same equal responsibility.
Yep, and you have taking accountability is the
absolutely
first step to.
If y'all men want to heal, you got to take accountability. That's that. And then I'm going to say, yes, some women, we got to allow men to be into their vulnerability. We have to allow that because that's going to be the first thing that they're going to be able to start to express themselves and start working on what they need to heal. And that way, y'all men need to open up to women that is trying to assist you with your healing process. So this is an article that I'm so sad because we was getting into this thing the last one. We was recording before we wasn't recording, but we thought we was. But this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. And this is about men with depression. So it says, the introduction says, men and women both experience depression, but their symptoms can be very different. Now, I want, if you can highlight that word when we edit, please highlight different. Because to me, people get it mixed up when they don't identify a man as being depressed versus a woman being depressed. It's gonna look different because we got two different type of testosterone and estrogen. It's two different things. So it says, because men who are depressed may appear to be angry or aggressive instead of sad, their families, friends, and even their doctors may not always recognize the anger or aggression or as depression symptoms. In addition, men are less likely than women to recognize, talk about, and seek treatment for depression. Yet, depression affects a large number of men. That's just the introduction. So then they says, what is depression? Every Everyone feels sad or irritable or has trouble sleeping once in a while. But these feelings and troubles usually pass after a couple of days. Depression is a common but serious mood disorder that may cause severe symptoms. Depression affects the ability to feel, think, and handle daily activities, also known as major depressive disorder and clinical depression. A man must have symptoms for at least 2 weeks to be diagnosed with depression. I question that. I don't know why they would say a man have to go through them symptoms for 2 weeks, because we could get put in the hospital ASAP and they're gonna say, oh, you have depression, you got PTSD, you got anxiety. They will label it for a woman. So that part I don't understand, but I'm gonna keep reading. That's something like later on maybe we could discuss. And I'm pretty sure a lot of men that's watching this podcast or listening, they probably say, well, shit. See, that's the fuck we mean. That's why niggas depressed now. I can already hear the men. That's why niggas depressed now, because nobody give a fuck. Okay, we give a fuck. We do give a fuck. Yeah, that's something that y'all need to understand. We do give a fuck. That's why we here. We mentally here for you. So it says both men and women get depression, but their willingness to talk about their feelings may be very different. This is why I got this thing when I tell men, allow a woman to be emotional. That is her safety. That is her way of being able to exhaust the things that's torturing her inside. Not saying you got to be the punching bag or the needle thread or got to be the emotional punching bag. That's not what I'm saying. But allow her to feel that safe space, because you will see a difference in a woman when she got a safe space. I promise you. Especially when we can express ourselves. We supposed to be emotional. That's the only way we supposed to survive. And if we can't feel you, baby, shoot them dead. Gotta go. Gotta go. But it says, this is one reason that depression symptoms for men and women may be very different as well. For example, some men with depression hide their emotions and may seem to be angry. I hate that. That to me, that's an indicator that you never faced two sides of your emotional being. That means you never face the fact that your feelings do matter. Like somewhere I be feeling like maybe somebody did tell you that it don't matter how you feel. You get what I'm saying? So then they carry that on the thing that they can't tell somebody how they feel. No. Again, that's a fucking lie. Y'all can't be with the past. Same thing I tell them. We can't be with people told us in the past. Oh, if we emotional, then we fucked up. No. If you're emotional, somebody said to me the other day, and I had to correct them. Oh, niggas that show emotion, I consider them weak. I said, how? How? The strongest person can cry a bucket of fucking tears and get up and pick themselves up the next day and know they already faced yesterday. Yesterday was sorrow. Today is not no sorrow. Yes, I do believe in constantly crying about the same shit. Then it's no point. But stop saying that niggas, men that cry are weak. No, those are strong ass men.
Yeah, because you don't want them bundling it up inside and then they lash out.
You heard what they said. It turned into anger and aggression.
Yeah, so now it's put into anger. Now you the female is being the punching bag.
Yeah. Or the kids, it goes over. And then society become the punching bag, because now you can't tolerate nobody even talking to you because you're being triggered. Woo, baby. I cannot wait until we get into that topic. Baby. But it says, listen, men with depression may feel very tired and lost interest in work, family, hobbies. They may be more likely to have difficulty sleeping than women who have depression. They may be more likely to have sleep issues than women. That's why I'm gonna tell you something, and y'all can shoot me up after this. I think that's why a lot of men will stay but play the game all night. They can't face their fucking depression. They can't face the things that's torturing them. And that's the difference with a woman. We will literally face that shit and cry it out. And that's why I say men fucked up. Somewhere down the line, whatever the first man or whoever told the first man that he couldn't cry, it don't make him a man, they need to go back to hell. I'm sorry. Go to hell, because that to me, now you created a turmoil of lineage of generational of men that feel like they're not a man if they show emotion. That's stupid. But what you did just do, you caused many men that's going to be raised. I'm glad there's still some successful men that is okay with showing emotions. You get what I'm saying? Those are real fucking strong men because they are not afraid to be vulnerable. They're not afraid to show that they give a fuck every day. I love that. Yeah. I love a man that show me you care. Like, tell me what bothers you. I'm not saying that's a woman's job to use that shit like, oh, this nigga fucking care enough, so I'm gonna do this and do that to him and take advantage of him caring. Nah, what I'm saying, like, you get women that really want to know that you give a fuck about certain things. You can't always have that I don't give a fuck because you're lying. And that's where your depression, men depression really kick off from lying. They lying to themselves. So then now they got to keep up with this placebo of lies, and now that lie got to keep. You get tired of lying, like that's why y'all mentally drained.
Yeah, like you're not okay. Just say you're not okay, and tell what's bothering you, because it makes you a better you, because then you can fix whatever you feel like is the problem.
By the time we get done with this segment, a lot of men gonna listen to this and they're gonna say, "Damn, I kind of am depressed," and I never wanted to think about it that way. Because, girl, the stuff that I'm about to finish reading on this part, I'm not going to try to go through the whole thing, but I do want to pinpoint some shit. Because as I'm skimming, I'm reading like, oh, okay. So it says mental health, wait. Sometimes mental health symptoms appear as physical issues. For example, a racing heart, tightening chest, ongoing headaches, digestive issues can be signs of mental health problems. Many men are more likely to see their doctor about physical symptoms and emotional symptoms. Mm. So that means y'all motherfuckers will go to therapy.
Yeah, so also pay attention to your health.
And I am it's not gonna probably just be a segment, but I am gonna post something where I do want to discuss about how we feel inside. It can actually affect our heart, our lungs, our digestive system. Like, that's why some people get ulcers. They don't even know that's because they so stressed and they holding so much karma deep inside in their gut that it's causing ulcers, it's causing what they call the inflammation of the intestines. Like, people really don't know that, and even doctors even say this stuff. So they will always connect. That's why I said be spiritual and be physical at the same time. Because sometimes your spiritual health is not at par, so it's causing your physical health to not be at par too. But it says, we gotta say this: depression can affect any man at any age. With the right treatment, most men with depression can get. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Hold on. Some men may turn to drugs or alcohol to try to cope with their emotional symptoms. Also, while women with depression are more likely to attempt suicide, men are more likely to die by suicide because they tend to use more lethal methods. So, and I did see an article, and they did say men will overdose on drugs and stimulants to kill themselves before a woman would. A woman would actually commit suicide, like slit her wrist or, take pills or something in that sort. But a male would actually intoxicate himself with drugs and drinking until physically their bodies start to ingest that shit, and then it start to fuck up, like kidney failures and heart congestive disorders and blood pressure issues, and then now they got kidney my uncle had pancreatic cancer. Shit like that start to occur when you're intoxicating your body with certain things that you're not able to. And that's, like I said, I tell everybody, like, sometimes instead of looking at a person for their habits, look at their depressed side, because they can't cope with their depression. So when you constantly see somebody picking up a bottle or get, like, even us with weed, like, what do the doctor allow us to do? They allow people to smoke marijuana to cope with their depression and anxiety and pain, body aches and stuff like that. But they're not going to tell you that they already know that that's something basically that's going to subdue that depression, because it's like a stimulant. So yeah, I could understand it, but they just make it legal now. That's it.
Yeah, and just to say as a fact, as a person who does smoke weed, it does it for the moment.
Yeah,
People never want to admit it. Nobody wants to admit it. It always only does it for a moment. And and I smoke weed and I can say that, yeah, it helps for a second. But then when you're sober and you got work or you got something you need to do, your mind start racing. That's when you
absolutely.
need to learn how to cope with it, then to cope with it that way.
Absolutely. So this is the last thing I'm gonna do about the men, and then I want to actually do some about the women, so we can balance it out. Okay, what are the signs and symptoms of depression in men? Ooh, baby. Different men have different symptoms, but some common depression symptoms include anger, irritability, or aggressiveness, feeling anxious, restless, or on the edge, loss of interest in work, family, or once pleasurable activities, problem with sexual desires and performance, feeling sad, empty, flat, or hopeless, not being able to concentrate or remember details, feeling very tired, not being able to sleep, or sleeping too much, overeating or not wanting to eat at all, thoughts of suicide or suicide attempts, physical aches or pains, headaches, cramps, digestive problems, inability to meet the responsibilities of work, caring for family or other important activities, engaging in high risk activities, a need for alcohol or drugs, withdrawing from family and friends, or becoming isolated. Not every man who is depressed experiences every symptom. Some men experience only a few symptoms while others experience all. I do see something that a lot of people ignore. It says people with a family history of depression may be more likely to develop it and than those whose family members do not have the illness. So sometimes depression is hereditary.
Yeah.
And I do feel like our parents, a lot of them did suffer with depression. They didn't know how to handle it, and they didn't know how to tell us. They didn't know how to express it because they. One thing I hate, and I grew up around, and I to this day I despise it. How black people is shamed upon for feeling like they have mental health disorders. We are talked about and said that it's just you just trying to make excuses, but sometimes that shit really is real. Like um I was, but which I did wanted to talk about was like spiritual depression. It's reference to Dark Night of the Soul. Sometimes a lot of people don't know when you're not okay. This is the overall depression. Usually is because, like I said earlier, you following a path that is not your own, and because we want other people to what is it like accept our who we are or what we want or want their validation. Sometimes that can cause us to go through depression too. So what spiritual depression is the dark night of soul. It's like being observant of the things. It's like putting you on pause. You said something about it earlier, like feeling like you on autopilot, like
Yeah,
you're
it feel
there
like
but you're
I'm
not there.
yeah.
That's your soul leading your way. That's your soul giving you a blueprint. And I'm gonna tell you, that's what my depression was for 3 years. I literally was not there. Like when I say not there, I'm like, I see you, I know who you are, I can talk to you, but really like I'm in space. Like
You really don't even. Sometimes
yeah,
I don't even remember conversations I have with people
yeah.
because I wasn't there.
It's like you're physically there, but your mind is somewhere else. Like, and when people get like that, that's to me, I say that's you hiding from the world so you can understand yourself better. So people may think that you just being cut off. That's why I say no. Sometimes when a person is depressed, it's okay for them to be to themselves. It's okay to cut people off for a while because sometimes it can be other people energy that's caused you to be depressed, or how other people ways of talking, or how they deal with emotion. And you can't do that to me. No, fuck you. You gonna like I tell anybody before I stop sharing my emotions, you're gonna run. You're gonna leave because I'm gonna be very honest. I'm gonna speak my mind because that's when I learned when my depression came in. I couldn't express myself. I couldn't be myself. I couldn't do what the fuck I wanted. Everybody had ends. Like I was married. It's like what financially because my kids was sick. I was always home, so I could never go nowhere. So my mom had a lot of ends with my life. My baby father had a lot of ends with my life. I had people living with me that was had ends with my life. It wasn't me. Only thing I had ends with was I love to cook. My depression became I stayed in the house, and guess what? Bitch was being fat. I'm talking about what? Domino's was millionaires that year. I gained 450 fucking pounds, bro, after having my son. And that was because I couldn't go outside. I'm used to working. I'm like what I do now. I like doing stuff. I can't sit in the house all the time. And my baby father was working overnight and then he was working in the daytime. So it was like he would sleep the whole day away. So I didn't have no outlet. So it was like, I'm talking baby talking shit now. What the fuck? I could not, I didn't have a sociable life with older people how now I do.
That's how I think I'm like me and you were like I'm in your shoes years ago and you're gonna be in my shoes years from now. Because like right now in my life I'm going through the point in my life where I'm like, why am I so young but I ain't doing shit. I'm mad young and I don't want to become like 30 and be like, damn, what I could have had fun back then. Like, and then people always think it's not fun. Like, oh, I want to go party and it's like, I'm so young. I should be doing something else, like traveling, going to do stuff, like really living my life because I don't want to get to the age where I'd be like, damn, I should have, and I want to get to
Let me tell you something. The best thing to do is to travel and see new scenery and stuff. That's what get our creative juices flowing. That's what get us out of depression. Because when we stuck around the same shit all the fucking time, that's when you know you're different. There's people that really like this depressed ass fucking lifestyle, and I consider it the fucking low vibrational living.
Listen, next year me and you will be at Hawaii taking a picture with our mimosas, looking out at the water, looking at people.
We're gunning. Fuck that. We doing a spirit board somewhere here. We're gonna put that as like our resolution. Mm-hmm. But that's why I want to do that. And usually that's another thing. When you going through situations that everybody think you're just trying to run away from your problems, no. Sometimes you gotta get away. They even say if you want to be biblical or spiritual, what they say, God used to what? Hide himself away and he used to pray about things, right? It's the same thing. So what's the problem with us? And we in the image of God, right? We need to pray too. We need to get solitude, meditate, get our energy back, reclaim who the fuck we are from inside because we so many people on the outside to other people that it's taking and chipping away from who we genuinely are in the inside. That's why you get people like God bless his soul, Robin Williams and what's Twitch, I think his name was.
Oh my God!
Like yes. I swear that is the show men. Y'all men. Because Twitch was the happiest fucking person. He loved dancing. He loved music. He was into his stuff, but I'm not going to even go there because there was some other things that I think happened with him too. So we're going to let that be. But I do feel like you never know what a person is going through mentally and they here to entertain you. Like, just like she said, she was just going through her situations. That's why we wasn't hearing for a couple of weeks and I've been just posting readings and I've been doing the Tarot Time Fridays and catching up with that until she was back to where she needed to be. Because one thing I told her when she called me, I said, I understand. I said, how can we be mentally there for everybody else if we're going through our own storms? Because that's the thing. This is a true podcast. And I wanted to make reference to that. So true. It's a true podcast and we go through shit too.
We don't get just know if y'all think these topics coming out of nowhere, these topics are not just flying out
things
our
that
ass.
We experience.
Yeah, these shits is not just flying out our ass.
Things we experience. So, and that's another thing. I feel like this is a good thing for her and for myself coming from a place of depression. That's why I said mentally there for you. When my original co-host actually gave me the name, it rung to me. I'm like, damn, I really don't want to take your name. She gave it to me. She was like, Nosy, it's for you. Because you really like this shit and you really like to dig deep into it. Hell yeah. So she's like, just keep it. But when she said it, I was like, damn, mentally there for you. That could mean a lot of fucking things. We don't gotta be, because mental is everything around us. That affects everything, affects us mentally. I don't give a hell. It may not affect us emotionally, but mentally it will affect some of the things of us or whatever. But I don't know. I just love the fact that we could be people that experience things, and that's why I said we need to come out of a place of a healed place, because we are relating ourselves to Yah, which is the public, and we do know that a lot of people. Thank you for listening. At this point, we just really, really encourage y'all to check on your mental health. It's not to be ashamed of. It's not something. I'm sick of people, and I don't give a fuck. The next person that tell you you can't show no emotions, tell them to fuck themselves. Shoot them dead, get them going. They gotta go. They gotta go. I'm sorry, they gotta go. It's just because you're affecting you when you living for somebody else, and they pointing the fingers about you having emotions for stuff. Nigga, who the fuck are you? You can't tell me what I feel inside.
Yeah, exactly.
That's one thing. That's why I'm so outspoken about somebody telling me how I'm supposed to feel by the way that I'm reacting to what you have done. This is why I say if you're a person to take accountability, then okay. I can't just like if I do something to somebody, I can't. Whenever we had a conversation of something that we didn't agree upon, and she expressed how she felt, I accepted that. Yeah, you know why? Because it's me taking accountability. I don't know how she felt inside when that happened. Mm-hmm. I needed to hear from her perspective, so I gotta respect her perspective, just like she had to understand from my perspective. And guess what? That's when you turn into the adult.
Thank you.
We gotta applaud that. Mm-hmm. That's when you're an adult. So, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's what we want. You need to just recognize your depression because sometimes you can be sitting in your own depression because of your own faults, and that's when what we're talking about accountability. You got to learn what is it about you that's making you depressed, even if it's you haven't been getting up and going to work. You know what I'm saying? Get up, go do what you need to do, and get out of that depressive state. Because staying there ain't gonna get you anything.
Absolutely,
it's not gonna get you nothing. I had to actually hit reality when I was gone for 2 weeks. I had to learn like no one's gonna do this fucking podcast but us two because we're the only two co-hosts. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta start. But as I took account for it though. I noticed what was wrong with me, and
well, she did. She called me.
Yeah, and I said I was dead wrong for being distant. I knew I was being distant. I don't know what was going through my mind, and sometimes you don't know what's going through your mind. Sometimes you just literally in that moment, stuck in that moment, and it's literally like you a zombie. You just sitting in it.
Yeah.
And once you realize, because remember, I went through depression for that 2 weeks. I did not realize to that day, to that end of that day, that second, that what it's the 8th, 9th, 10th, or 11th day of the depression. I didn't even notice it to that day. But as long as you notice it, once you notice it, you go, wait, hold the hell up. I've been sitting in it. Been sitting in it. Some people just love to sit in it. And sit in it. You can't do that. And especially if you start realizing something is wrong.
Yeah.
So I just want people, get help if you need help. If you need help, get help. Don't let somebody tell you therapy don't work. Maybe it didn't work for them, but it may work for you.
Absolutely.
Okay. You just gotta try. Maybe it was just that therapist. Because I'm gonna tell you the truth. Growing up, I went through a lot of therapy because I am dealing with major depression and anxiety. So I've been through so many therapies. Man, it's so many. And sometimes you got to keep trying. And then I found it was around COVID. And, people weren't really doing like in-home visits and things like that. So the phone calls was I learned what was my problem. I don't like to confront and be in front of people. And sometimes that could be one of your things. That's why people don't like therapy. That's why I actually like the phone calls. Even they got therapy that you can email, text, and for the fact that also Cola is very into it, you guys can contact her.
I do counseling.
And let me explain something to you. Everything is confidential. We might even have a paperwork. The HIPAA law. We are gonna have the HIPAA form. Whatever we sign, you can sign those paperwork once you get in contact with us, and that's it.
I'm actually gonna start a class, which we will post it on our social media sites and stuff. We're gonna start doing the Reiki class. I'm gonna start teaching you so that we can teach others. I'm certified Reiki, so and y'all be surprised I can teach y'all how to do y'all animals too. No homo. But y'all can it's basically energy healing and how to meditate certain forms. I do want to start a meditation group for women. Because a lot of women don't know we can ground ourselves And it's not gonna just be inside the building. So sometimes we might meet up at the park by the beach, bring a couple of snacks, some music. It's about us, like letting ourselves be us without the kids, without the men sometimes. Because even I need it. So I do want to sit down with you. We're gonna try to start setting something up, like even if we do it once a month.
The meet and greet.
Yeah, once a month. We gotta do a meet and greet. So, before we sign off or whatever, I want to talk about another type of depression. And a lot of people don't talk about this, and it actually relates to actual depression in real life, like why we physically be depressed. Some people, if you are into spirituality, you know it as dark night of the soul. And whenever somebody hear it, be like, "What? Dark night of the soul?" But it's the same thing. It's just a spiritual depression that connects to the physical body. So, are you going through the dark night of the soul? This is coming from North Point, Washington. If you have found your way to this article, it is probably because you think that you might blah blah blah. The dark night of the soul. You're looking for answers. Your confidence. I'm trying to get to the article. What is the dark night of the soul? The term comes from a poem written by Saint John of the Cross of 1500s personally. I am not a fan of the poem, whatever, neither less. I don't care what this lady said. But it's the ego death. That's the dark night of the soul. It's like everybody say, what is ego? Ego is a lot of fucking problems, okay? It's okay to have ego because sometimes it needs to be done. Like, say if you walk into a business meeting, right? Predominantly a bunch of men. It's not saying you got to have confidence in yourself. So that's okay to use your pride or your ego to actually portray that. But it says this death must happen so that your soul can be reawakened in a sense. The darkness is a void or a symbolic wound from which you will reborn to a higher, more spiritual, aligned consciousness. I'm gonna tell you, I said we could do a whole segment about that because what I learned after my depression, I was going through the dark night of the soul. And I'm gonna tell you something. It took for another spiritual person she listed so much stuff and she just was like, she was like, try meditating. I would not lie to you and tell you after she told me that. After she defined everything that I was going through, she said, you're going through a spiritual awakening, you're going through the dark night of the soul, is you alleviating your ego. Word to it looks so fucking grim. I felt like I was so much sabotaged. This is when I was living on Quinnipiac Avenue. That's the first time I ever understood what it was. On everything. Once she told me and then she said meditate, word to everything I love, I meditated. This is no lie. I have my phone plugged up on a charger. You will know that you're holding a lot of negative energy to yourself when you actually meditate. I promise you. Because even with my phone being on the charger, mind you, I woke up, it was still plugged in, the charger was still charging. But guess what I did? I was meditating for so long, and when I fucking woke up, my nigga, the energy was drained out of my fucking battery. Literally. That was the first time I ever knew about meditating, and I swear to God, I woke up, I felt good. I felt so light. You don't know what your body burdens on a spiritual level because it's things that we carry along from our childhood all the way up. That's why I said the heavier we feel weighed down, some of us really don't express ourselves or know how to relieve some of that shit from our past that it really could burden the fuck out of you, bro, and then you're walking around like that. But when I meditated, girl, bye. I was feeling like Superfly. I swear to God, I got up. I was like so lighted. Mind you, I had just lost the baby. So all that shit was fucking with me. Like, and then when I got in the shelter, I started really meditating. Word to everything I love, my attunement, everything. My intuition was like this. That's when I started doing my readings. That's when I knew I was something different after that dark night of the soul. That was me dissolute my ego because my path was designed to do what I'm doing now. I do readings, I do counseling and stuff. I can't do counseling by still holding on to the things that I couldn't let go. So yes, I'm gonna say real shit. Y'all don't need medication. I hate when they throw meds in us for depression. I just told my mom the same thing because if you read the side effects, if you stop taking it, what happens? You can get more depressed. Why the fuck would you give me something that's gonna make me more depressed? There is not. Matter of fact, we got a segment coming up. What I said next week? The holistic healer that's coming in.
Wait, what in the hell?
Yeah, the lady I told you that's coming with the uni steam and all that stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
She got some things that she's gonna teach us about that. Hopefully, she can show us what could help with coping with depression. Somebody also was telling me to go, because my son got ADHD, that I could give him that's not pills. And this is coming from a social worker at the school. She said, I don't want him on medicine. She said, I'm black. Excuse me, y'all. No disrespect. She said, we don't believe in that medication shit. So she said, go to the herbal store. There's a drops that I can give my son every day that will calm him down and allow him to be focused, and it's natural. It's not him getting poked with medicine or whatever. Like I said, I've been diagnosed with depression, and I got it so clear that they do not give me pills. They will not. That's why when my mother says she get depression, I looked at her like, what the fuck? I'd rather you not, because then that can affect you too. Because when you forget to take that shit for a period of time, thinking you fine, boom, you wonder why I'm back to normal. And it's 10 times worse by then. Like I didn't hear from people that, like, growing up, my baby father used to be on Ritalin and shit like that. And he even told me when you stop taking it, it get worse. Like it's like you become addicted to that shit. And it affects your ability to think for yourself. That's all it does, is suppress your inner being, who you really are. ADHD, all that shit is nothing but suppressing our spirit. Like I say, people that got ADHD, that can't sit still, they meant to put their energy into something to gain focus. Because if you notice, a person with ADHD, when they got something that gives them focus, they stay stuck on it. And they master that shit like no tomorrow. So basically, like, there's so many things that we're diagnosing medically, but they're not looking at it as a spiritual finding. That's fucking with our kids now. So now we gotta start being the ones to acknowledge it. So I can't wait till we get this lady up here. She gonna speak about all that shit. She lit, and you gonna have fun, because I know you like crazy wild women. And she like the Erykah Badu, young Erykah Badu type woman.
No. Oh no.
No, not like the crazy.
No. Erykah Badu make you do some things.
What?
Yo, Erykah Badu.
She's a free spirit. I mean, like,
every nigga that talked to her fall in love. And
she got that voodoo pussy. Did I tell you about the pussy?
She was selling it.
Good.
No, she was selling the juices.
She's teaching people that a woman's vajayjay is very powerful. It's an elixir. You don't know that? Mm-hmm. They even said, why you think we nourish men's beard? This is not the segment. That was more powerful. Yeah, we power the pussy. But we'll talk about that another day. Matter of fact, when she come here, she talks about stuff like that. Okay. So yeah, that's why I said I booked her, because I wanted to. This is the 2 weeks you've been out. I was already trying to think ahead. Word to everything I love. I know you're gonna love this one.
And aren't we also doing the
question and answer
Thursday?
Thursday. Hold on, I'm gonna tell y'all her name. Thursday, if y'all not doing anything, I believe it's 10 o'clock in the morning. We'll be on air with Marcy Lynn. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna give y'all her info. She's a podcast that is dealing with New Haven Independent, and she wants to interview us. She want to know more about our podcast, what we doing. So, and y'all could come up there, watch, tag people, whatever you got to do. But I'm gonna tell y'all gonna want to watch it. Y'all gonna watch it. Actually, the 13th is before this even airs, right?
Yeah, this is before. Oh, so there ain't even no point.
Y'all gonna see us on Marcy, so make sure y'all go back, go to Marcy, Independence, New Haven Independent.
If you missed it,
if you missed it, but we will be tagging everybody. We'll post it on our page. I'll put a little shout out. She can put a little shout out saying that we're gonna be up there. So y'all, even if y'all do miss it, we will actually repost it on the Mentally There For You podcast page as well. Mm-hmm. But you want to close it out and then I end it?
Yes. So depression. Notice where you're depressed at. Notice the signs. Notice what's going on, and get help. That's all I really want everyone to do, is just get some help. Don't ignore your feelings. Don't ignore how you feel. Men, please don't ignore how you feel. Women, don't ignore how you feel. What you feel, your feelings are valid. Okay, let's just everybody know that your feelings are valid, okay? And get up out that rut. Like, get up out of it. And we're here for you. We're mentally there for you. That's what we're here for. We're mentally there for you. So And we could even add people onto the podcast if you feel like there's a topic that you want to just get off your chest. We right here.
Definitely. Whew. And yeah.
Oh, the next segment is going to be about domestic violence.
Definitely. We're going to cover domestic violence.
Yes.
I'm actually trying to get somebody on for that segment. That's a young man that honey. He's a man that I seen his post about his girlfriend. She did her number. And it's sad because men will clown men like that. Like, well, how you let a girl beat you up? You would not. I respect it because some women will take advantage of a man that was raised differently and say, I'm not putting my hands on no female. So when we do this Lord, this domestic violence segment, trust and believe me, we're speaking to men and women. God, even if you're a man and you have been through domestic violence, please inbox us, contact one of us, email us at mentallydearforyou@gmail.com. Please make sure you email us. Again, this is Battles of Depression. And I also want to let you guys know, please follow us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and so much more. We on every podcast platform that you can think of. Amazon Music. We trying to get it out there, get them numbers up there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like she said, if you want to become a guest on Mentally Dear For You podcast, you can email us at mentallydearforyou@gmail.com. The subject, put guest, leave your information, like, name, phone number, your social media sites. So one of us can contact you immediately, and we can let you know some of the segments that we got coming on if it's of your interest to come up here. Also, make sure you subscribe to that YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is not Mentally Dear For You, like FOR, it's the number 4. Because we did get it mixed up, and I gotta actually fix it up here, but it's Mentally Dear number 4 You, hashtag Mentally Dear For You podcast. And make sure you're catching the vibe every Sunday. That's it. Like, hello. But the last thing I'm gonna say, and we done. We over it. Men, get that mental health. Please. Don't think that you can't be emotional and you are weak. You are emotional for a reason. You're fucking human. In the discussion. Yes. In a discussion. You're fucking human. You're human. We're human. Women are human. Men are human. We have feelings. We go through things. Let it out so you can stop being these aggressive ass, angry ass men. And we pour that into our sons. And that's not what we want. We don't want these angry ass, K-Flocka ass motherfucking kids running around here because they can't express themselves. So they want to shoot them up, shoot them dead, shoot them down, motherfucker. Like, no, we're not doing that. But y'all, we love y'all. This is Mentally Dear For You. This is Queen Z, and you know who? Shy. We's out of here, baby.
Now what you gonna say when it all comes crashing down? Girl, you're gonna love me.
Woo!
What you gonna do when all your love hits the ground? You're gonna love me.
Forget the BS, what's up, mama? Forget about checks, we bout to talk to you like a soap opera. It's mine, I have to come proper. If you don't mind, I can't ease your whole conscience. You don't have to talk, you can stand there silent. Jack Sparrow to your heart, it kills to be a pirate. Let's still take his course, we getting off this island. Make sure your resistance away from drama. I love you till my time's up. Even in the afterlife, we gon' have to get it right. Let's go, cause the sky's ready for us. You an angel in my eyes, is no surprise. Even though it might be ladders that we have to climb, but I'll be behind you, push you upwards every time. King and queen's only way we coincide. What if the ship sink? We go together. Let's not play scribe. Love is only 4 letters.